Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network. Tonight it's the Brian's Lawn Care Big Block Series, and tonight we're at Charlotte for the MyRaceParts.com Charlotte Nationals. And I'm your host, Michael Goodman, and along with me is David Westergreen. And David, as we get ready for qualifying here tonight, are we looking at for another Dylan and Dylan show?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest question of the night. Dylan Thomas and Dylan Petty, who are currently qualified 1-2 on the board, are the two kind of preemptive favorites. They've been 1-2 in each race, with each driver winning one. And I think it's the field versus the Dylans tonight. We'll have to see if anybody can come up there and challenge those guys. They seem to be really fast here on the dirt.
Yeah, so far they've been the class of the field, and only being a four-race series, I don't know if it's too late for anyone to make a run for that championship, but definitely this could be one of the races where you can maybe upset one of the two Dylans, Dylan Thomas, Dylan Petty, and kind of play a little bit of a spoiler and get into victory lane. I know there's some guys that were fast in practice that we really haven't seen up front, running up front so far. We see I think Chad Frankenfield was. The leader in practice, and currently maybe not running the best in qualifying. I think he's currently 13th on the board. But yeah, maybe you'll see some fresh faces up front and a heck of a good show here at the Charlotte Dirt Track here. A little bit shorter. It's probably about medium banked from where we ran the first 2 weeks at Eldora and Weed Sport, and it should be a good one. Seems like right now, David, they're hugging the bottom line for the most part so far in practice and qualifying.
Yeah, I think that's going to kind of be the strategy for the most part. And the high line probably comes in, but I think right where Brandon Paul's running here, the middle line, as you see, he gets it a little loose, a little sideways. He'll reset and try it one more time. That you're gonna have to run that middle groove, the middle lane, and try to keep the thing as close to the bottom, kind of pointed with the left front wheel, right by that transition you can see there between the dirt and the grass. And then once, if you get onto that grass, I've seen several cars do this so far in practice, so I'm anticipating that it happens in the race. If you get that car on the grass, it looks like it takes a big chunk out of the left front tire, and you start jumping up and down. So we'll have to see whether or not those guys can kind of keep a handle on the car through those transitions and keep the tires off the grass.
Yeah, one thing to note there too, those big tractor tires on the inside of the corners. Um, those could be pretty costly too if you get a little too low and hit those and cause some big damage. Seen that in real life at in Shawano, Wisconsin, in some spectator races. Not a pretty sight. So hopefully these guys can stay off those tractor tires and keep it clean here as we see Billy Hale trying to make his qualifying lap as we got about 55 seconds left to go in qualifying. And we'll see what kind of line he runs here, David. But yep, as you see here, he's kind of ducking on the inside, and he goes around. And I think a lot of times what happens in iRacing too is it's once you even get those rear tires in that middle groove where we've seen the 18 of Brandon Paul get into, that's probably the part where it might get a little slick. It's fast if you can hang on to it, but it's certainly a tricky feat to accomplish. And hopefully we'll see some good racing here tonight as we get ready for heat number one.
Not sure. Are we keeping the same invert rules? Because what we've had so far in this series is an invert at, I believe, fourth in these heats, inverts. And so if you win the heat, you drop to eighth on the start of the race. I think that's been the case for both races so far, so I imagine that's going to continue for this race today. Looks like Jay Canor is going to be on the pole. Looks like maybe we started with an invert. Dylan Thomas from the pole inverts in the heat to fourth.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's up with the inverts so far here. Yeah, Dylan Thomas will be starting fourth here. As the rest of the lineup, again, Canor first, Zach T. Evans second, Daryl Canfield starting in third, Dylan Thomas in fourth. And fifth is Thomas Capuano. And sixth, Hunter Smith, Chad Frankenfield seventh. And eighth spot is Sean Leisure. So pretty guys that are hungry. Chad had that speed in practice. He'll be trying to look to come up from the front. And Jake Canor, we've seen him run up front in some of our other series here that we've commentated, and hopefully he can get that heat win.
Yeah, it's good to see we're getting kind of the group back together from Tuesdays at in the short tracks street stock series from earlier this season. Daryl Canfield, Jay Canor, a couple of our kind of main feature guys there, and we'll look forward to seeing, I think, one more in this second race. David Carpenter will be in the second heat as well. So not sure whether the heats will really provide the knowledge of who's going to be fast. We've seen the Dillons not really push forward in the heats. They tend to kind of relax a little bit in the heat races and let the other competitors take advantage.
As we get ready to go green here, we'll see how these heats will play out as the pace truck will dive off, and we're going to get ready to go in heat number 1 in the Brian's Lawn Care Big Blocks, MyRaceParts.com, Charlotte Nationals. And Knorr getting a big lead here, but he's going to have heat from Canfield, gets a good run on the inside. And so far, it looks like Dylan Thomas is trying to get by Canfield as well. It looks like it's going to be almost 3 wide coming out of the corner. And, contact between Canfield and Thomas, but they keep on going.
Look at Chad shooting the gap there, and man, chaotic start. Looks like there's maybe a little less room to go as now Canfield bouncing off of Chad and Thomas. Everyone keeps it straight.
Everyone keeps it straight and keeps going. Yeah, it looks like it's a lot tighter. As you see where that, David, that kind of the marbles or the loose stuff on that very high line, the racing groove's a lot narrower than I think the other 2 tracks that we've raced at so far. And right now, it looks like we have a battle for the lead. Jay Knorr is getting all he can handle from the 6 of Zach T. Thomas.
Yeah, Zach T. Evans.
Or Zach T. Thomas. There's Evans, yeah.
the question, I think, that is going to be with this, whether or not the race, the guys can pick apart their favorite lane. It looks like maybe there's a little, because of that narrower racing groove, it's going to be more difficult to pass. You can't really slide job this track nearly as well as you could at Eldora, and last week it was just a high line train. Looks like this week we got a couple of different lines. These guys are able to make it work on the bottom, make it work on the top. Zach Evans hanging with Jay Knorr, though not able to complete that pass. Wonder if the outside lane may work in here, and that cushion may be where these guys ride all night.
Yeah, they just passed the halfway here, and it's going to be a tough pass for Evans to make here on Jay Knorr with 4 laps to go. And, yeah, so far not a lot of passing besides the beating and banging. So there's a lot of figuring out, I think, as far as race trim is concerned. Someone's as kind of how they're running right now, David, I think you got to try to get that good run on the bottom and if you can perform that slide job. But it's like you said, I don't know if there's just enough room to do that. As you see Evans trying to get on the inside, and he's not going to quite get that run off the corner as we narrow down to 3 laps to go.
Wonder if Dylan Thomas is working to he's trying to make a pass here. Wonder if Thomas is trying to play to the strengths of that invert, try to get the track position, because it looks like it is going to be difficult to pass in this race. Evans just unable to really get to the back bumper of Knorr and then make his way by. Hunter Smith hanging out in 3rd, and Thomas following along in 4th.
Yeah, it looks like Thomas is trying to get that slide job going, but is not quite able to do so. And as they finish, Jay Knorr will take heat number 1. Zach T. Evans in 2nd. Hunter Smith in 3rd. As you see the rest of the field coming across the line. And the field will be rounded out by, as you see this, standing there for a second.
Couldn't get it up in time. Here's the starting order for the second race. Damian Leininger, Mark Keeler, David Carpenter, the front 3. Race number 2 winner, Dylan Petty, Billy Hale, Vincent Isabella, Daniel Logan, Brandon Paul, another one of our street stock regulars there in 8th spot. So this will be the whole field. 2 Pete's, 16 cars. Didn't make the payout. If anybody's watching, you want to race week 4, the payout will be pretty spectacular, I think.
Yeah, they were having it going, money going all over the place for trying to get a payout to get some more the car count higher in this series, and hopefully, the final week, I believe it'll be next week at Bristol. So might be a fun one to check out. And one guy I want to watch out for is that 12 car of Damian Leininger. He's done pretty well and on the dirt. From what I've seen him do before, and even last week he had a pretty strong run. Let's see if he can take a heat win or take a heat number 2 win here. See if he can do well. But we also have the other Dylan Petty. He's going to be starting in that 4th spot. Also, I think he qualified 2nd, I do believe. So they must have inverted like you said, the top 4 in each heat. So interesting to see how they'll start in the feature here this week as we get ready to go green in the heat number 2 in the MyRaceParts.com Charlotte Nationals and a great restart by Leininger. Maybe a bad restart by Keeler as he's going to drop all the way to the back.
Crash.
Oh,
Keeler
oh
spins it in a
man,
big hit. And
and
we have our
just couldn't quite get it going there. But yeah, that was tough.
first iRace Online replay caution of the day. Brought out there by when Mark Keeler got spun out on the restart. And yeah, I think that we're going to see the result of Keeler not getting a particularly good start.
Yeah, I don't know if he spun the just didn't quite get on the loud pedal quick enough. As you see, just it stacks up kind of behind him, 3 wide, and ooh, I believe that's the 44. Who would that be? Is that Vincent tonight?
Yes, that's going to be Vincent.
Vincent.
Yeah, 44 colored car, but number 6 on your scorecard. We have a couple of overlapping car numbers as well. So Damien's 12 is, I believe, taken up by someone from Heat 1. So yeah, not all the car numbers matching there.
I think Vincent's just going after my own heart here in that 44. That's a beautiful number.
Yep, trying to play to the goodie strength there with the Stuart Friesen scheme. He's doing that in honor, I believe, of Stuart Friesen announcing today he'll be running the 77 car for Spire Motorsports on the Bristol Dirt Track during the Cup Series race, and that's pretty exciting. I think Stuart's going to have an opportunity to run well in that race and give Spire its second win.
Yeah, it's good to see some of those guys that are experienced on dirt getting into that Bristol race. That's going to be a fun one. Looking forward to that, and even looking forward to next week. Even for us, going to Bristol and checking out that dirt track there as well. It should be fun. But it looks like is the pace truck lights off? I don't think they are quite yet. So we got at least one more lap of caution. We only have one lap completed out of 10 in heat number 2. Right now, Damien's trying to hold off the rest of the pack, and looks like they'll go in revert. No, they won't revert back. Sorry, that's the 71 on the scorecard. 75, David Carpenter will be starting on the outside. He's no slouch on the dirt here as well. He'll be looking to get that heat win.
Sure.
Yeah. And then, what was it? And now the standings are a little messed up here. It says Hale is on second, but he'll be starting third, and then Isabella alongside him in fourth. As we get things scoring gets straightened out here as they get ready to go back green here on lap number 3 of 10. Damien again gets a great restart here as he's going to jump out, goes right to the inside line. Carpenter's going to try to stay in front of Billy Hill, and it looks like that's not going to work out for him. That high line just not working out for Carpenter right now, as he's going to have some heat from Vincent Isabella for that third spot.
Ooh, car bounces it off the tires. Looks like that was Daniel Loke. He's going to keep it under control, but that was kind of one of those things we mentioned right at the top of the start. If you bounce it off the grass and off one of those big tires, that can spell trouble for your race. You got to keep it right there, like Damien Leininger is doing. 12 car out in front and pulling away a little bit from Billy Hale.
Pulling away, but it looks like Hale's trying to drive in deep. I don't think he's going to get the run off. Actually, it looks like he's closing in a little bit, but still not able to get quite the run. It's going to be hard to pass. And it even looks like Carpenter back and forth might be trying to get that high line working, as we've seen in heat number 1.
Ooh, Vincent sideways there, and it allows Carp to pull up against him.
Yeah, and they were able to stay off each other, so that was a good move by Carpenter, not getting into the number 6 or 44, or however you want to call it at home, almost getting together, but able to keep on trucking, keep on moving, as we only have 4 laps to go in heat number 1. So far, it's all Damien Leininger up front in the MyRaceParts.com Charlotte Nationals heat number 2 here at the Charlotte Dirt Track. As they come down 2 laps to go.
I want to point out, Dylan Petty, was second there before the caution. I wonder if he didn't get maybe a start penalty and then be forced to the back there in the heat. He is now going to be up in 4th, which that might be the key place you want to be if you are able to start up in 4th. But I think Petty maybe jumped the initial start, which kind of kicked off that wreck with Mark Keeler.
And he'll work off back where he started. Looks like on the final lap here, he's going to try to get that 4th position to see if Carpenter can get that run off the corner as Damien Leininger wins. And it looks like, as a final results, Petty will get 4th. He'll hold off Carpenter there. So it'll be Leininger, Hale, Petty, Isabella in 4th, Carpenter in 5th, 6th Keeler, Paul in 7th, and Daniel Loke rounds out the field in 8th.
So we'll take a look and see how the transfer works out. And Vincent Isabella is going to be on the pole. Looks like I
Ooh,
guess somehow he finished fourth in that one. Maybe he brake checked the line. He'll be off pole. Thomas will start second, Petty third. So the two Dylans will be having that track position early in this one.
See, I'm really interesting to hear too. We've seen Damien again. He was one guy I was watching out for in that last heat. Vincent's a guy I think he's shown some speed. He maybe just needs that track position, that luck, and it's going to be tough business when you have the Dylans behind you here as they dominated this big block dirt series so far. I'm curious to see how Vincent will take care of his car out front because he's shown some speed in previous races. Hopefully he can lead some laps and maybe give these Dylans a run for their money.
Yep, think so. That's going to be what I think the key to this race is can this the Vincent Isabella, Hunter Smith, Damian Leininger group, Jay Canora as well, the Heat 1 winner, can those guys get up and bypass the Dylans? It really is the field versus the Dylans tonight, and I think my money's probably on the Dylan boys once again to get it done.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to bet against them when they finish 1-2 in each of the races. So it's going to be a tall task for a lot of these guys. I'm sure. Vincent's scared of nothing. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm sure he knows the tall task that he's about to face here with those two fast modifieds behind him, and we're about to get ready to go green here. Being a track that's hard to pass on, I'm thinking this is the opportunity for Vincent to lead some laps and maybe get a good run here as the pace truck dives off as we get ready to go green into myraceparts.com. Charlotte Nationals here at the Charlotte Dirt Track, virtual Charlotte Dirt Track, as we go green, and Vincent Isabella gets a great restart here, great start, and he'll have almost half a second lead going into turn one as the two Dylans, they're going to battle it out. Dylan Thomas and Dylan Petty, they're going to battle it out for second spot. And right now it looks like maybe that inside line hooking up a little bit more. Nope, Thomas is going to get that run on the outside. Oh, maybe close to having a little contact. But right now that race is for second spot between the Dylans as Vincent is trying to hold on to that lead, which currently David is holding up around that half second mark.
It just looks like it's very difficult to make up ground on this dirt track. Is it possible for a dirt track to almost be run like a short track where the passing just requires so much? It seems like that's how this is. Can Dylan Thomas do anything with Vincent Isabella? Looks like the 03 a little bit faster. We do have a pile up in the back that will bring out the caution on lap 4, and I am certain we will have a number of yellows in this one. First one of the day has come out here on lap 3.
Yeah, it looks like Chad Frankenfield involved in the wreck there. I believe also Daniel Loke and maybe Brandon Paul that also got involved there. We'll take a look, see what brought out the yellow.
It's going to be Keeler, Canfield, and Loke all involved in that one. Canfield gets into Chad, and around they go, and 4 cars pile it up into the turn 3 wall.
It doesn't look like there's too much damage. You see a little bit of paint scraped on Chad's car, but it looks like they'll be able to go and keep on trucking and stay in contention for a solid run here. But, David, one thing you were mentioning, maybe, more so than maybe most tracks, and you've seen the Dylans, set each other up here as you see another view of that wreck, and, Keeler just nowhere to go. But it's going to be one where you're going to have to strategize your pass maybe more so than we've seen in the first 2 weeks at Eldora and Weed Sport.
Absolutely. That's going to be a massive key to this is these guys, it seems like, can't pass. It really is almost the quality of passing that it is at a Martinsville, where there's one dominant line and nobody can really make up any momentum. You just have to force your way in there.
Get going back to green, we'll see what happens, see if there's going to be anyone forcing moves on each other. Wow, Dylan Petty, great restart there, but again, doesn't get that run off the corner. Vincent Isabella able to hold him off as the Dylans once again. Dylan Thomas is giving Dylan Petty all he can handle right now for that second spot. As Isabella's he's kind of choosing right now that little mid groove where it's fast and slick, but right now he's making it work, holding off those Dylans as we are ready to complete.
Oh man, that's gonna be a Petty spinning Vincent. Vincent won't be happy about that one. And Leininger up and over.
Oh, car's flipping and caution is out.
I imagine the in-race chatter from the 44, not real pleased with the 5. I mean, just a kind of a drove it in there and ran him over.
Yeah, I think there's only one way to put it: dive bomb, and really that's I think Vincent might be able to get his spot back as they will revert to the last lap completed. As we'll check out the replays, we kind of saw what happened there. Just a dive bomb by Dylan Thomas.
It was Petty, I think,
Or
that got him.
Petty, wrong, wrong, Dylan. Yeah, he just dove bomb in there. We'll take a look, see exactly what happened here. And he had a good run, but he just, yeah, didn't quite. I don't know. I don't know if he didn't think that Vincent was going to go that slowly through the corner, but it looked like Vincent was going fine. But I think at the end of the day, it was just a classic old dive bomb.
Yep, and we'll have to go back in and grab the incident, the cause of the caution. I believe was Damian Leininger going up and over, so we'll grab that as well.
Yeah, this is all started from that contact between Isabella and maybe some damage there too for Dylan Thomas. Ooh, gets on that tire, Leininger, and up and over. Oh,
back on the wheels. He will get to keep going.
Yeah, hopefully not too much worse for the wear, but I'm sure that was a little bit of a fun ride there for the 12 car. And now he's going to have to work his way back up through that field.
Back on it, green flag.
Oh, back on a green flag race, and once again, Vincent Isabella back out front.
We got to have a caution here. Yep, there it is.
Man, oh man. Looked like it was kind of stacked up there about mid-pack.
Yeah, Vincent not happy with Dylan Petty right now. Petty ran in the back of him there on that last restart as well. And I think Vincent's absolutely got a case to be angry. It's kind of getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it's, again, the intensity and just seeing how hard it is to pass. I know the eagerness and just wanting to find any little slim door being open. You want to kick it down, but also that comes with that. You got to be prepared to handle with upset drivers. As we'll see what happened.
Looks like netcode outright there, and Brandon Paul, Damian Leininger nowhere to go, as well as Chad Frankenfield.
Man, I feel like Chad Frankenfield seems like a pinball here tonight. He's bouncing off of everything. I think he's been at least had some bit of contact in all three yellows thus far in the MyRaceParts.com Charlotte Nationals, and it looked like quite a bit of netcode here.
Yep. That's,
oh yeah.
You can't see it from that angle necessarily. Maybe I'll try really quickly as the caution just keeps on. They keep going pretty quick on me. But if I can grab it right there and then go to this camera, we will see it. Boop. I couldn't see it from there either. That's all right. I believe Leisure is going to know that that car did not just jump around on him willy-nilly. As we'll head back to green here. Pace truck off.
Pace truck is off, and Vincent Isabella once again going to lead him back to the green flag. See if he can hold off the eager Dylan Petty starting alongside. Looks like Vincent Isabella is going to get a good restart here on lap number 7. Ooh, it looks like Dylan Petty's going to get a good inside shot here to get alongside of Isabella. This might be a tough feat for him to try to hold off Petty.
Honestly, Vincent might be running the top just trying to avoid the contact because Petty just drove through him twice in the last 2 restarts.
Yeah, that could have been partly what it is, getting a little scared. Oh,
bumped into him there. Yep, that's definitely some payback. And
yeah, Petty might have even drifted up a little bit, but yeah, there's definitely no no hurt feelings there between Isabella and Petty. As now it's once again the Dylan and Dylan show, as Dylan Petty is in the lead, Dylan Thomas in second. And let's see if these two boys can put on a good show as we're going to complete lap number 9 of 50 here of the MyRaceParts.com Charlotte Nationals.
Big run on the outside lane for Thomas Capuano. Kind of a new entrant today. Don't think we've heard his name before, but up to 3rd all of a sudden. And he's the one grinding the cushion, really able to make that thing stick up in the top groove.
Yeah, he's being the high line tickler right now. And, man, he's flying up through the field. See if he can get that good run right now. If he can get a good run coming out of the backstretch here. Ooh, it looks like now Dylan Thomas is kind of seeing what Capiano is doing, and I would definitely see Petty going up to the high side. Yeah, Vincent going up there
copied
as well.
him. Saw him
Yep. So
go by up there. Petty jumped up to the top. Looks like we've got a migration up to the top lane based on Thomas Capuano's good run up there.
yeah, kind of a monkey see, monkey do
Hmm.
thing there. You see a lot of the drivers now going up, hitting that outside, starting to make it work as Capiano, kind of the innovator of that move here. And now maybe setting that groove up to be a little more open as you see him going to dive on the inside. See if he can get that good run off. It's going to be tough. Not quite enough to make a slide job. Dylan Petty's going to hold him off here on lap as a complete lap 13.
I think you're
Now
just going to
Dylan,
have to be more willing to get into the cushion if you're Capuano here than Dylan Petty. Try to get up alongside him via the outside lane, force him down to the bottom. That's what's going to be the key. Is you see Vincent and Capuano were both willing to get really far into the cushion. Will Petty be willing to get into the cushion that far?
yeah, that's about what you're going to do, and maybe drive him up into the cushion. And I think maybe the only shot at that point then too is to just dive bomb in on the inside and hopefully get that slab job complete. Kind of like what we seen last week at Weed Sport between the two Dylans as they were trying to battle each other out. But right now it's a three-car show, and Capuano trying to mess up the Dylan and Dylan show as he's between them. They're keeping them separated. But Dylan Thomas is trying to get that second spot back from Capiano, and he's going to try to hit that middle groove. And he gets a little loose, and he's going to lose a little bit of ground. But, man, Capiano gets that good run, but obviously nowhere to go when you run that high line, and Petty's right there ahead of you.
Great run there. Maybe trying to find a little extra running room. The lane below the cushion now. Capuano, the one to kind of innovate the lanes. That's pretty bold, and you know he's showing that he has the speed to do it without a doubt. Thomas just I think maybe a little netcode drilled right in the back of him there, but this is as close as it gets. It almost looks like a Daytona race in the Cup Series where they all just migrate to the top.
Yeah, I think we've seen that a little bit in the Daytona 500 here. It's kind of the same thing going on in the MyRaceParts.com Charlotte Nationals. As right now, 3 wide coming out of the corner here. Wow. As Dylan Thomas is trying to make that inside line work, but a lap car Keeler is going to get in the way a little bit and slow his momentum down. But, man, looks like Capuano's getting a halfway decent run if he can make something stick as you look at how close these two guys are running, putting on quite a show, and caution's going to come
Ooh.
out here on lap 20.
It's like Billy Hale, maybe the one involved in the caution.
We'll see what happened and brought out the yellow. But man, that was a great three-car battle there between the two Dylans and Capiano, making this a fun one.
Absolutely, that was a pretty incredible little race, and I thought maybe Capuano was going to have something for him up top. Here's the incident for Billy Hale. Bounced it off the wall, and I think the tires just kind of got caught on the wall, spun him out. Harmless incident, but iRacing went ahead and decided to throw the yellow on him.
Yeah, it's just enough. Kind of a quick throwing yellow here, kind of breaking up the pack here. But it's going to be interesting on the restart if Thomas Capiano, if he can get a good run on this restart, he might might get that good run on the outside. And depending on what lane I suppose Petty chooses, he can overtake this lead here.
I wonder if choosing the outside or the inside is going to be more of an advantage, because we've seen the leader choose the inside each time, but that was before the kind of great migration up to the top lane, as it looks like Petty does indeed choose the bottom. Wonder if Capuano will be able to pick up a bit of a run, coming through turn one. He'll lose out ground on the initial start. I'm sure Petty will try to slide up in front of him, but maybe Capuano will be able to get that big run and then drop underneath and make a quick slide job.
Yeah, we'll see here as we get going back to green. As we're coming to lap 21 on the restart here, and Dylan Petty, he gets a good restart. Capuano, he's going to have to do work, as now Dylan Thomas is going to get a great restart on the inside. He's going to take the second position away. And don't look now, here comes Vincent Isabella charging back. But, oh, there's that beautiful pass blue ribbon car of Hunter Smith. He's making that inside line work right now.
He's the only one venturing down there. Everybody has left the bottom, and they've headed north. Dylan Petty, the one to kind of hold station here. And Capuano's going to go back to the inside. He wants second away from Dylan Thomas. That's a slide job. He's going to put it on him.
Oh, a slide job of contact between Dylan and Capuano. And, oh, man, Thomas is going to get the second spot back. And now Hunter Smith and Isabella are going to try to get Capuano for that third spot. But, man, it just wasn't quite enough of a run. It was almost too deep of a slide job for Capuano, and he kind of paid for it there.
That's the kind of move you're going to have to make, though. You know, he wasn't able to retain the lead for long, but if you make it to the leader's back bumper late in the race, I don't see why that move couldn't keep you in front. You know, that's just dirt racing right there. Getting a slide job in front, check up, you got to make them go underneath you.
Yeah, and
Routine.
just yeah, as long as you can get to the start finish line, that's about how you want to set it up. Maybe learning something there, Capiano, but right now the gap is he's about 1.8 seconds back of the leader as he's getting heat from Vincent Isabella from the rear end here. And those Dillon boys look like they're out front. They're creating again, the Dylan and Dylan show as we just passed halfway of the MyRaceParts.com Charlotte Nationals as Dylan Thomas is trying to take a look on the inside but won't get that run coming off the corner. And this just, it seems like this is when you're kind of more gradually going for that pass and the inside's not going to quite work as a caution is now out. It looks like you're going to have to do almost something in between what Thomas and Capiano is doing for as far as slide jobs are concerned. We'll see what brought out this latest yellow here on lap number 27. Now it looks like Chad, oh man, hopefully Chad didn't have another one. It looks like he might have been parked it and had enough. Wasn't his night here tonight.
Oh my, this is you know, remember what we talked about at the start of the race? Chad went grass hunting.
Oh, went grass hunting, got a little bit of that tire, and round she goes. Is he gonna land on his wheels? No, on the roof. Can't even score him.
Let's go on board with Chad Frankenfield through that one.
As you see here, just trying to get that inside line working. Gets in that grass, hits the tire. That's gonna almost send you over every time. And whew, hope you're not prone to seizures up there at home. That's a pretty wild ride there he went for.
Absolutely, and it does bottle the field back up. So the lead the Dillons had before is now gone, and what they will be looking towards here is a rearview mirror full of Thomas Capuano. That inside line was very, very powerful. Dylan Thomas got up into second with it. Now Capuano will be sitting from there, so maybe he'll be able to take advantage of the good start by the leader, which will be Dylan Petty.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see him. Maybe it looks like now he's going to try choosing that outside line. So that might be what the two Dillons, you know how we've talked to them every week here. They're buddies, so that might have been kind of a setup as the pace truck's diving off. We're going to get the restart here on lap number 27 of 50. Ooh, it looks Vincent Isabella. He's right on Petty's bumper. You know he's mad as he's trying to get a good restart, and that high side does get going. Better than the inside line as Dylan Petty's going to take the lead. Thomas is going to go into second spot, and I think Vincent Isabella is going to get that advantage and hold on to third as he's moving up. He's trying to put some heat on Dylan Thomas right now.
Yep, Vincent's. You know, you say he's mad. I don't think Vincent's mad at this point. You know, the temper initial definitely makes you hot, but Vincent's the kind of driver that when he gets run like that, he's just not going to give you a room. He's not going to give you a chance. He's going to make you think about him. And so what Vincent's definitely doing now is he's trying to stay in with these guys. If you can stay close, it seems like you can run with the Dillons. You just got to take advantage of them. Maybe they'll actually screw up here and bounce off each other one time. That's all it might take, and you just have to be within striking distance.
Maybe determined was more the word I was looking for there.
Yes, that's perfect. Vincent Isabella is the most determined driver. Fought his way through the field to finish second in the Elite, I think it's the SMRI Xfinity Series yesterday, and it was a really good race. Matthew Weeks took that one home. Thomas going for the lead.
As you see Thomas going for the lead, looks like he's going to get that slide job to work as he gets a back bumper or a front bumper from Dylan Petty. As he tried to perform that slide job, and some contact again between Petty and Isabella.
Now Vincent's mad.
He might be mad.
Now Vincent's mad. Yeah, that's a questionable move by Petty for I think the third time in this one.
We'll see what happens if Vincent can get caught up, or if there's a late caution. There's probably gonna be no love lost between the 5 and the 44 here, as or if you can catch back up to him. As you see. Look how close Vincent Isabella, too, is up to that wall. He's probably got that right rear fender scraping against that wall just a little bit.
That's fast.
And it's fast, though. He's working it out. But right now, Dylan Thomas, he's running that same line, too, just right up in that groove as he's holding on to the lead as we complete lap number 34, coming to 35 here. in
He's
the myraceparts.com. Yeah,
pulling
he's
away
pulling.
fairly heftily here, and the battle is back here. 7th, 8th, ninth. Hunter Smith. Oh man, Capuano hit the
Oh,
wall and it sent Leisure flying.
oh man.
Big issues there
Wave
for
hit.
Thomas Capuano, who was incredibly impressive early in the race today. Led everyone to the top of the field, and now from 4th, he'll be falling much further back in the field.
Yeah, he'll be probably starting the tail end of the lead lap. It looks like he got a little too high in that groove. Almost did what Billy Hale did to bring out that last caution, but oh, that contact.
Oh, and Cart flipped him back over.
Oh, man, it looks like he's got a whole lot of damage. Hopefully that, I don't know if he's still moving or not.
I don't believe he is. I think that car is done.
Yeah, it looks like it was a pretty hard hit for that 60 car of Thomas Capuano. And unfortunate for how well he was running here tonight. As you take one more look on the in-car cam. And you see how high Vincent was going. You see those two Dylans were going. He was trying to do the same thing. Just lost control of it. This one hurt him. I think that one might have finished him off there. That was two pretty tough hits, and hopefully the 67 Leisure and Carpenter are all right as well and able to keep moving, because those are pretty hard hits for the front end of their modifieds as well. And here we look at Carpenter's.
Look at the car appear out of nowhere for poor Carpenter. Nowhere to go.
And it was something we were talking about last week, that new update for iRacing. See how much dust is going around the track here. That looks like you just seen him last second. Once again, Isabella putting the bumper on. Petty trying to make sure he gets a good restart. Isabella and Petty get going on that inside line. Dylan Thomas trying to hang on the outside. And right now, Thomas is getting that good run. He's going to get a good run out the outside. He might be able to take this lead.
And he will.
And he will.
And that presents us with the opportunity to watch Vincent and Dylan again. And Vincent bounced it off the wall. That's going to make it tough to get up there and run with the Pettys, or the Dylans.
As these laps are winding down here, we got about 14 laps to go here in the myraceparts.com Charlotte Nationals. Right now, it looks like even back there in the right behind Vincent's got a good pack. Damian Leininger trying to work his way back up to the front after he went through his wild ride. Yeah, Sean Leisure there, I think you were just mentioning. He's bound and determined to get a good solid run here tonight.
Great battle in this group, and we've given so much screen time to the Dylans. It's almost time to go elsewhere. But there's the wreck. Smith in the wall, Canor upside down, Leisure around.
Carpenter just got he almost got through that wreck. Probably the same thing happened to him where he just wasn't able to see, but I think he'd be all right. But man, Leisure was working his way up through the field there. Looked like he was bound and determined to get almost a top 5 run there. I think it was just room ran out between, I believe it was Hunter Smith and Damian Leininger, and it kind of triggered that accident.
Looks like that's indeed what happened. Smith in the wall, Leininger around. Smith's car flips at the end.
Keep going. A lot of these guys landed on their wheels. That was a good solid. I'll give that one an 8 for the landing there.
iRacing does a pretty good job of kind of keeping the wheels on the car when it happens. And let's watch this guy right here. Poor Jay Canor, nowhere to go, flips it over, and Dave Carpenter again having to slide through a wreck and flip someone back onto his wheels.
Doing him a little favor, doing Canor a little favors. Canor, I believe, still scored in 9th, so yeah, give him a little help, and back up front now. Dylan Thomas back on point, and let's see it's going to be interesting to see what line they choose there, and this restart, as that high line really worked out well for Dylan Thomas on the last restart.
I think it's whoever. They've got a little team system there. The leader's taking the high line. It allows the guy on the inside to slide up behind them, and so they can keep that 1-2 result. Isabella and Leininger, though, kind of challenging in here. We'll have to see if either of those guys has anything for him. We know Leininger's car is pretty messed up after being involved in a couple of incidents.
Yeah, it's you'll see how he'll get going. He'll be on that high side, too. Hopefully he gets a good restart as Dylan Thomas gets a great restart here as we get to lap number 40 of 50. So just 11 laps to go here in this race. And right now, Looks like the battle is going to be for that third spot. Damian Leininger is going to move in that third spot. Let's see what he has, if he can be the guy to mess up the Dylan show. As right now, again, it's Dylan Thomas, Dylan Petty, 1-2. See if Petty can close in, make another good, fantastic finish. These boys have done that each and every week so far in this Brian's Lawn Care Elite Dirt Series, Big Block Series. As we get down to lap 42 now.
Back to Zach Evans going after Leininger for that third podium spot. Isabella, who's kind of held it for a bunch of the race, trying to hold off Evans and get back after Leininger.
He's trying to get back up there, but yeah, it's going to be tough with those two cars battling out. Man, Zach T. Evans making that inside line work. And now he's going right back up to the ice side and see if they can do a crossover move. Leininger, ooh, gets a good run. I think maybe Evans got a little, looks like he lost a little traction there going down the backstretch. Now Isabella's going to take advantage of it too.
We've seen it a number of times, but the battle is for the lead up here. Slide job after slide job. Petty will end up out in front.
Man, it looks like a lot of the grip in this track is gone as we're narrowing down to about 7 laps to go. Dylan Petty shoots off to a pretty good lead here. And, oh, now we have a caution.
Brandon Paul, I believe, in the 18 car around. And yep, once again, another caution on the track. It's dirt racing. We expect that.
See what brings it out here. Ooh, like Hunter Smith.
Yep, and Canor. All right.
Going around. Yeah, at least it doesn't look like there's too many damaged cars there, but once again, Canor having tough luck there going around. And just as I was saying too, it looks like the track lost a lot of that grip, and it's hard to keep these cars straight going through these corners. As we've seen even the leaders, I think Dylan Thomas, that's kind of how he lost that lead, wasn't able to get quite the traction down that Dylan Petty was, and Petty shot out like a cannon and got around him. So you see, ooh, made a little contact there from Carpenter. So from helping him flip to just a little contact, close racing deal, I think there, and maybe just different grip levels and how you're able to have the throttle control going through the corners.
I think that David Carpenter's going to be real glad to leave the Charlotte dirt track today. He's been in a bit of a bad luck situation, pretty much everywhere so far tonight.
Yeah, I think him and even Canor would be one that's just ready for this race to be over, as now we're doing the single file restarts. You're going to see these guys hugging that top side coming to the restart, as you see Dylan Thomas giving Petty the bumper there, kind of as we've seen Isabella do before too, trying to get a good restart. And Dylan Petty's going to get out to a good jump, but Thomas is going to go right down to the inside as we're coming down to 6 laps to go. Let's see who can win it. It's going to be, once again, the Dylan and Dylan show, as they are bumper to bumper once again in the closing laps of this race. And man, oh man, I think now it's just going to be a point where I think Dylan's got to time this move just right.
Yep, Thomas has done this before to his teammate, trying to ensure that they keep that 1-2 record intact.
As they pull away from, the third place Leininger by about a second. But if they slip up here, making that move, Leininger is going to be the one taking advantage of that spot. And I'm sure that Leininger will do that if that's the case. But right here, Dylan Thomas trying to take a little bit of look on the inside, try to stay up as high as he can.
He bounced it off the wall. The 03 has knocked it off, and that should mean Petty is going to be able to pull away.
Yeah, I think that's about his last-ditch effort. I don't know if he's going to make up that much ground with coming to 2 laps to go. He's digging for it, though. He's trying on that outside, but I think it's going to all be for naught. The gap is just too much for Dylan Thomas to make up. So once again, we're going to see a Dylan in victory lane once again for the second time this year as we come down to 1 to go. As long as he's able to keep it straight, it'll be Dylan Petty as they come down to the white flag. And here, final lap, all he has to do is cruise. And looks like he'll get it, but the one last ditch effort going in this corner. I think it's going to be too much ground to make up as it comes out of turn number 4. Dylan Petty.
Thomas hits the wall.
Thomas hits the wall. Petty,
and it's
Leininger didn't get it. I think they're going to give it to Thomas. Might have just edged out.
Wow.
Oh man, you can't say Dylan Thomas didn't go for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, almost
Now,
sacrificed the Dylan and Dylan show record there of 3 consecutive races with a Dylan 1-2.
yeah, able to hang on as again Dylan Petty with the win. Dylan Thomas in second, and Damian Leininger almost getting in that second spot, but he'll come home in third. Vincent Isabella is going to come home in fourth, and Zach T. Evans is going to round out your top five. See the rest of the standings going across the ticker there.
We'll throw them on the
Yeah.
board for you. Billy Hale, good run, finishes 6th. Canfield comes home in 7th. Kenor Hunter Smith and David Carpenter all went through a number of trying issues today.
Still ending up with the solid top tens here, but only out of 16 cars, and you see there's the rest of your field. It's again tough luck for Capuano there, as we're saying how much of a show he was putting on there, trying to be the one to break up the Dylan and Dylan show, but again, all for naught here tonight, as Dylan Petty once again taking the victory, and we'll see. First, we'll bring in. Looks like we do have all three of our top three guys in the waiting room here. I'll bring in Damian Leininger. Sorry, pulled him in maybe a little unexpectedly. Damian came home in third. Do you think you had anything for those two Dylan boys up front?
I don't think so. I got flipped over a little earlier in the race, so I think I was dealing with a little bit of engine damage. And they seem to be the class of the field in this thing anyway, so my hope right there is just kind of run the bottom, and if they start getting into the wall and getting into each other, then maybe I was out of the way. But that didn't happen.
So, sorry. As far as that flip, that had to be a pretty wild ride. Did you think you were going to be able to get up front and still finish on the podium?
Oh no, I thought I was gonna be just stuck on the lid, and then somehow I think I got hit again, and it flipped me over. And then I had a meatball flag, and I was just like, well, let's go see what it had, and it didn't seem to have any different turn or whatever. It just seemed like it was a little bit down on power down the straightaway. Um, and I got stuck in the back, and then the top really started coming in, and I got lucky on one restart, and I got on the outside, and then just kept rolling that all the way around. And it seemed like once I got up there, it was really good, and I could run the line. Then it started slicking off a little bit, and the guys on the bottom were kind of making a little bit more time. So
Yeah, Damien, do you think maybe you could have done it without any damage?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, like I said, these two Dillon boys have been the class of this field the entire season. These 3 races, so I don't know if I would have been able to race with them. I mean, they were pretty strong. Um, I'm not a master at these cars by any means. I'm just kind of an amateur dirt racer on iRacing a little bit, so they seem to know what they're doing a little bit more than I do. So
Again, a solid run for you here, Damian. Able to salvage a third place run, almost a second place finish there as Thomas was going for all he could to try to get that win, and you guys were side by side there for second spot. But before we send you off here, how do you feel about going into Bristol next week, and then any shout outs that you want to give out here tonight?
I mean, it's gonna be close if I can even make Bristol. It's so close by the time I get off work because I'm on the West Coast and get home, and it's. I mean, I think I jumped in with maybe 20 minutes of practice, but I came directly home, so it's gonna be iffy if I can even make Bristol next week. Um, but just shout out to you guys for broadcasting this. Shout out to Chad for putting this on and trying to push us to do something outside of our comfort zone from our normal asphalt stuff. Um, Hopefully we can get a couple guys to get in. We were trying to get 20 cars so we can get that payout, but that hasn't happened yet. And then just shout out my podcast, the Batflip podcast. Have them on the car, just trying to get some exposure out for them. So hopefully it works.
Yeah, be sure to check that out, the Batflip podcast. And good run, Damian. And hopefully we'll see you right here next week at Bristol.
Hopefully. Thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you. And that was Damian Leininger finishing in the third position. And next we'll bring in the second place finisher, as you see him there parked along the inside of the track on the front stretch. It's going to be Dylan Thomas. And Dylan, you gave it all you had there, almost going on your lid the last lap. Did you have anything for your other buddy there, Dylan Petty?
On the long runs, I felt I had the better car. When that last green flag fell, I decided that I wanted to hit the wall and I wanted to ride it for about 3 laps and let him get way out there. Saw him monster truck it down the back coming to the white, so I just let the big dog eat. Gave her all I had and looked at stars coming to the checkered.
Dylan, you think if there was anything else maybe you could have done there differently, coming with five-ish laps to go and you were right on his bumper?
Not hit the wall.
Yeah, that's certainly would have helped. But as of right now, you two Dylans have been the class of the field. Um, certainly had some challengers here tonight. Isabella was one that was up there, and Capiana was another. Were you afraid? Were you afraid that they were gonna be guys that were gonna ruin that Dylan and Dylan show, or did you kind of know the cream was gonna rise to the top?
If it didn't go slick, I thought they was going to be there, but I told y'all last week I think some of these other guys are going to show up, and tonight we're seeing it, and they're only going to get better. So we're going to have to figure something out for Bristol next week. I've honestly not turned a lap there.
At least they have a week to get into practice. David, got anything else for Dylan?
Yeah, Dylan, do you have any shout outs?
Yes, sir. I got to thank Mike M Designs for the good looking ride here. Damien, my teammate on the asphalt side, for giving me some room to not kill both of us coming to the checkered, and Dylan Petty for running me clean.
Well, yeah, again, put on a good show here tonight. You Dylan boys don't disappoint, and good run.
Did you drop out there, Mike? It's like Michael dropped out there, but we'll bring in Dylan Petty, the race winner. And
Oh, there we go.
yeah,
now I'm back.
all
But
right.
yeah, sorry about that. It's a little technical difficulty issues there, but Dylan Petty coming away with another victory. Dylan, how'd the car feel out there tonight?
Oh, it felt pretty good. I wasn't very good at all the whole night. I got lucky there with one of them last cautions. I pulled a haymaker slider at Dylan, and it gave me the lead at the line when the caution fell. So it helped me quite a bit. I was able to control the restart more. I think that's the only thing that really led to the win because I wasn't faster than he was. Obviously, him monster trucking the wall every 3 laps didn't help him none. But I did it too with 2 to go. So car was good. The driver not so much though.
Yeah, Dylan. Did you think that the being on the high line and on the restarts and having that advantage when you're able to hit the gas before everybody else? Do you think that's kind of the biggest factor in terms of keeping that track position up at these dirt races?
Definitely on a restart. Now I will say it's a little harder with Dylan Thomas because he's in VR, so he can see me the whole time. Um, but for a guy that may not have VR, it does make it just a little bit easier to have the position over them because they're not going to see when you're ready to go as easily. So they kind of got to lay back to watch for you. So it does give you a little bit of an advantage. I've always been a firm believer if you take the top as the leader on a restart, you're going to have an advantage, especially when the line's up top going into one. You're already there. The track, you already have the position getting into the turn. So it's up to the guy below you to either try to slide you initially or get a good enough jump on third and fourth to get up to the top and get in behind you.
Yeah, and certainly able to do so. Again, as I was telling Dylan Thomas, looked like he had a little bit more guys kind of almost trying to break up the Dylan and Dylan show. And Isabella was one that was contending with you guys, and Capiana was kind of the first guy that was able to go up top and make it work there in the beginning stages of the race. Did they have you worried at all, or did you kind of know as I told Thomas, cream was going to rise to the top for you two Dylan boys?
At first I was worried. And they're pushing this money that they got to win. It keeps rolling every week. So I think we're up to like $80 to win next week if we don't have 20 or more cars. If we have 20 or more cars, excuse me. So guys are going to start showing up, try to win that money. Uh, Capiana was fast up top early. But like you said, I mean, Dylan and I race dirt nonstop. That's all I run. I don't run a whole lot of asphalt stuff. So when the track gets really slick and really technical, I feel I have a better advantage over some, just due to the fact of that's all I run. So I know how to work the track and I know how to make the car work where it shouldn't work to try to have some advantage.
Yeah, and it certainly looked like he had the advantage there at the end as well once the track got real slick. But Dylan, before we send you off here tonight, any shout-outs you want to give?
Yes, sir. First and foremost, I want to thank y'all for broadcasting it. It's pretty fun to go back and watch, listen to y'all commentate the Dylan show. It makes it very entertaining to watch. I want to thank my wife, my little girl. They leave me alone long enough to let me do this. Mike at Mike M Designs makes the cars look good every week. I got to thank all my guys at Southern Sim Racing: Jared Winholtz, Dylan Thomas, Corey Whitworth, Brent Homan, all my guys over here, Josh Blanchard. Those guys push me to be better, and this is two in a row here and two in a row on Monday nights now. So it's starting to pay off for me.
And next week at Bristol, do you think you got anything for him next week?
Bristol's a whole nother animal, being that it was asphalt track that they just threw a bunch of dirt on. Um, that being said, I do very well at USA and I do very well at Lanier, so that may transfer to that. I don't know. Like Dylan Thomas, I heard him telling y'all in his interview that he hasn't really turned any laps there. I think I might have 10, especially in a big block. I haven't made any laps in the big block. Surely I have in the small block, but not the big block. So I don't really know what the track's going to do, how it works. So I guess I'm going to be doing some testing before next week to try to figure that track out a little bit.
All right. Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Thank you, Dylan, and good luck.
Thank y'all.
And that was our winner, Dylan Petty, getting another victory, 2 in a row here, David. And yeah, so far, 3 races in, 3 Dylans win. Dylan Petty taking now the advantage and going to propel himself up in the points lead as you see the top 10 order once again. And looking next week at Bristol, talking to those Dylans not having a lot of experience, things could get quite interesting here next week.
I think Bristol might throw a wrench in the whole thing here, Michael. It's going to be a good finish to the season. Bristol is being a new track in the service. I don't think anyone's going to have any particular speed advantages. It's going to be a free-for-all, and whoever can really figure it out first is going to take home that last checkered flag. And we'll have to see if it's anybody else can take home against the Dylans.
Yeah, and you can tune in next week right here on ERN. Same time at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, a program note as well, tomorrow will be the Joint APS Cup Series for the Elite Racing Leagues. Be sure to check that out right here tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Again, right here at ERN, the Elite Racing Network. David, any last words here before we send it off for the night?
I don't think so. Let's come back again next week. Maybe we'll have 20 cars, and we'll be having a big $100 payout to the winner, and we'll be crowning a champion. It'll likely be one of the Dylans. Presumably right now it's Petty with the lead, but I think we'll have a graphic up for you next week that shows the exact range, and then we'll be able to monitor that throughout the race. So should be a good finish to the race, and we'll be ready for it. And yeah, tune into all the rest of the Elite Racing Network broadcasts and subscribe to the YouTube channel, please.
Yeah, and if you're out there watching, have any dirt racing experience or iRacing experience, come out and join us. Get that car count up to 20. Make them pay you out. So it'll be fun to watch. But again, for David Westergreen, I am Mike Goodman. Thank you all for tuning in to the MyRaceParts.com Charlotte Nationals here in the Brian's Lawn Care Elite Racing Big Blocks or Dirt Series. See y'all next time.